Okay, y'all, this is gonna be a different type of video right here. You know, honestly, I don't care. I'm one of those YouTubers that really don't give a you know what. I'ma get that YouTube watch hour time. But this is non-WWE news. This is more of news about the Iran-Israel conflict, which I'm not about to get too deep into that conflict because, man, those people have been fighting each other for a very long time. That's all I'm gonna say. That they was fighting each other before I was born. You know, I was born in the 90s, and these people been fighting each other, but it's heating up again. And the Iranian state media put out a message saying, and I'm trying to remember, it was like tonight or in the morning, you know, the world is going to see something that's going to be remembered for the next centuries. So I don't know what that means. It could be a bluff. And honestly, I'm starting to think it's a bluff, but you never know. You never know, because Trump, you know, he's been saying some stuff out of his mouth, like the big talk. You know, you talk big, you know, they both are selling wolf tickets. You know the US, we have a good military. Israel has a good military. Hell, and Iran has a good military. You know, they all have weapons that can kill people at any given time. So they all selling wolf tickets. But, you know, Iran is throwing missiles at Israel. And, you know, Israel throwing missiles back, you know. But the people that's over there, man, I would tell y'all, I don't know how much money y'all got or whatever, I would get out of Iran and I would get out of Israel. You know, just looking at that Ukraine war, you know, I was watching a lot of footage when the Ukraine war popped off, and I used to follow Coach Red Pill on YouTube when he was in Ukraine. And Ukraine, you know, had a whole battlefront going on, and you still had people living like there wasn't, you know, soldiers in their land blowing up stuff, you know, shooting at each other, missiles coming down. Man, I saw people walking their dogs, just driving on the street. People was at a park, you know, throwing frisbees and having fun. Like, man, there's a whole war going on. You know, you had people just, you know, you still had kids going to school. And, you know, a bomb would just blow up, you know, on the street. Or you'll have one of those missiles that, like, separate. And I think it's mortar rounds or something like that. Would just separate and, like, pellet the whole street. You know, kill, like, 3 people, injure like 15 people on one street. And I'm just mind blown, like, okay, are these people not going to evacuate? Are they not going to do something different? But then I had to think about it, like, we all live in the United States, but imagine if a foreign enemy came to us and, you know, started, you know, messing with us. You know, they invading our country, right? Not saying that's gonna happen, but let's just say it did. Think about it. Your job ain't gonna be like, are you coming into work? You know, hey, you have the day off. No. The truck drivers are still gonna be working. The policemen still gonna be working, of course. You know, McDonald's ain't shutting down for nothing. Like, you really have to think about that. Really think about that. Because in Ukraine, they had shopping malls still open. The fast food stores was still open. The grocery stores was still open. Now, they weren't stocked up like they usually some places were, but you still had truck drivers on the road, making their routes. And I saw a Russian tank shoot at one of them, killed the driver, blew up the truck, and this wasn't military truck. So I know, Israel can't move, Iran can't move, but if you are visiting over there, get out. Like, I know the people that live there, their homes are there, but I would get out. There's no way I'm gonna be just in my hotel balcony looking outside and I'm watching a hail of missiles rain down. Like, get out. I don't care. Like I say, some people, money is funny. They might not have enough money, but man, y'all gotta get out. Y'all gotta move. Like, honestly, if you in the Middle East right now, in this conflict, if you in Iran or you in Israel, just get out. Cause it like I say, they've been fighting for years. I mean, years on years. Man, it's not gonna change. I don't care. We could go to World War III, which I don't think that's about to happen. World War III been going on. No one just labeled it World War III. But as far as this conflict, it's really just like, if two people hate each other and they really hate each other, you in between it, a lot of innocent people dying because of this conflict. And like I say, I'm just reporting on it pretty much for these YouTube hours, watch hours. Y'all could do what y'all want, think what y'all want. This ain't about who's right and who's wrong, because these people been fighting for years. It's not going to stop. But if you are visiting Iran, if you are visiting Israel, and you have no business over there, you made plans to visit the Holy Land, because I wanted to go to Israel one day and just take a look at it, but like go to Jerusalem and stuff. But if you want to, or you are currently on some sort of vacation or something like that, where you don't even have to be there, you could go later on, just get out. Get out. I'm gonna put the footage, I'm gonna try to get the footage and put it in this video, because I just seen like right now it's nighttime, or gonna be nighttime in the US, but it might be like 3 a.m 4 a.m over there or something. Man, Iran just sent a crap ton of missiles in the sky just to hit Israel. And I'm just like, bruh, y'all can't just be trying to hit military bases and stuff. Like, it don't matter if you're in the military or not. Like, it's still human life. And it's like, y'all fighting for people that are rich, not even in the battle zone with y'all. Like, y'all fighting against people who live in big mansions and they out of the way. Like, you had some nuclear scientist people and stuff like that die. That's just people doing their job. They went to school to be, a nuclear scientist, and now they're dead. And a lot of people might say, oh, they're trying to make a nuclear bomb and all that stuff. Hell, yeah, a lot of people got nukes. Okay, like I say, if that's your job. If they hired you to make a nuclear bomb or whatever, or enrich uranium or whatever, that's their business. You know, if Israel want to pay that nuclear scientist to stop doing it, maybe they'll do it. I don't know. I ain't picking sides in none of this because they ain't got nothing to do with me. But if you are actively in a battle zone, because it's going to turn into like some Ukraine stuff, trust me. It's going to be worse than Ukraine. If you are in Iran or you are in Israel right now, get out. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to name this video, Get Out.